Okay, so I'm a Marxist YouTuber, kind of small, got about 13,000 subs at the moment, I think. So my name is kind of weird. It's not something I really know how to pronounce myself. It's that clearly isn't an aspect I thought of when I came up with the name at the time. So I have a nickname, Muke, which is my Twitter name, and most people know me by. So you can just call me Muke. I mean, I think my YouTube name's like Xexizy or something to that effect, like Xexizy. It's very weird. And I make just videos about what I find interesting, on Marxism response videos, things like that, and I debate people sometimes as well. So you may have seen me debate Sargon of Akkad or something like that. So yeah.
Well, now you say you're a small YouTuber, and I'm pretty proud of the fact that Zero Books has 11,000 subscribers at this point.
I'll say right off the bat, I absolutely love your guys' channel, and I think it should have way more subs than it does, because the content you guys make is like just consistently to a very high quality. You know, you're instantly above a lot of YouTubers in that you're not just some guy talking to his webcam in his bedroom, which is what I literally was for most of my quote unquote YouTube career. And so kind of recently I've decided to really get a bit more creative with it. I think there are three main points to touch on when growing a political YouTube channel, at least. I think one is, with anything, you kind of have to work the algorithms a little. Mm-hmm. And you may want to do research on them because they are constantly changing and they're quite stupidly complex. But the main things to take into consideration is, like, if you post a video at prime time on a Friday, it's going to do better than if you post it at 5 a.m. on a Monday, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But then also there's this other kind of like aspect to it of, like, if you can get your video uploaded a few hours before a bigger YouTuber in the same circle uploads, then you'll get on the recommended of their video, and then that will give you more views, and then views are more important in the first 24 or I think 48 hours of the video, so blah blah blah, and there's all these qualifiers to it. So that's worth to take into consideration, because I feel like a lot of the, well, I don't know about you specifically, but I'd get the feeling maybe you're not too as in touch with kind of the game on that side of things. So it's just, yeah, one little known secret for any leftist YouTuber is that if you're out of video ideas, just make a response video to PragerU, and that's guaranteed views right there. You know, I all of my most viewed videos, well, most of them are responses to PragerU. It's ridiculous. So if you just find the current big voices on the right or the liberals, and you make videos about that, that's automatically kind of gearing you up to, like, not always, but usually you'll notice it will do that.
I guess what I wanted to ask you about also is your assessment, before we begin with labor notes or labor certificates, your assessment of the online left as it is right now. Like, you know, you're on Lefty Poll, I guess, and you were on you're on Reddit, I'm sure. Are you a part of Left Book?
No, not really. I'm not too into anything to do with Facebook. I say that I was an admin for one of the meme pages at one point, but I never looked at it. So I guess, I mean, I don't. It's weird. Recently, I definitely have, like, quote unquote history in Lefty Poll. I mean, that's kind of where I, like, started, kind of. It's where I posted my first video like 2 years ago now, over 2 years ago. And it's where I kind of hang out for a while. But I've kind of over time more and more just been focusing on Twitter, honestly, because I'm not too much of a fan of most people who go on Reddit, the type of socialists there. I mean, I don't know if you know about, like, r/late stage capitalism. So essentially the mods there are just kind of a bit ridiculous. I mean, on specifically the late stage capitalism one, but the same problems apply to most of them, really. I've seen them post in threads about Bitcoin. Oh, if you support Bitcoin here, we're going to ban you because we're communists and we're against money. It's like, is that not anything but lifestyleism? What the fuck is that? Like, right. I'm not joking. There's an argument to be made that those mods specifically are like CIA plants to alienate people from the left. It's ridiculous, you know. Like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, no. I mean, I guess you could say I am pretty involved in the online left in a sense. Yeah.
And do you feel like, because of just that kind of thing, that it's being kind of mediated through mods who you can't really trust, that you don't get a good sense of what people are thinking?
Oh, no, I think it is pretty easy, actually. I think Reddit, there's definitely that problem. But if you then look at like Twitter is much more kind of an open platform. And of course, Twitter has the problem of its actual site admins, but that's a different thing, you know? So yeah, I think it is pretty easy to get the general consensus on a lot of topics from that the online left may have right now.
And what do you think the consensus is about capitalism? How does most of the left conceive of capitalism right now?
Oh boy, well that's you see that depends on a lot of definitions then, because what are we defining capitalism to be, and two, what are we defining the left to be? And your answer is going to vary greatly depending on that. I mean, if I want to be as kind of like cynical as I can, which sometimes I'm tempted to be, I'd almost say that most of the left aren't leftists, and most of them don't actually know what they're meant to be against when it comes to capitalism, and most of them is kind of in this Richard D. Wolff stage of as much as I like that guy, he's still like, oh yeah, if we just get worker-run co-ops, then the world's problems are solved, kind of thing. He's very entry level, but a lot of leftists are still at that point, or like there are a lot of kind of like progressives in particular, like the kind of like ContraPoint general sphere. I bring up ContraPoint because I know she's been on this podcast. It's just kind of a point of familiarity there. But like most people around her channel, I suppose, and related channels, they would be considered leftists. They all call themselves leftists, but like there are many of them who aren't really anti-capitalists in any way. They don't even call themselves anti-capitalists, let alone thinking they are without realizing it, or rather thinking they are without realizing they're not. Yeah. So there's a lot of like, it varies.
Yeah. The next question would be like Marxists then. Is there a significant Marxist contingency in the online left? And are they all subscribed to your channel? Is there like 14,000 of them and that's it? Or
there's a decent amount. Like, I mean, I'm by far like the biggest leftist YouTuber. I think the biggest leftist YouTuber who like specifically talks about Marxism and stuff would probably be Bad Mouse Productions, if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not making videos at the moment, but he has like, I think around, I'm going to look now, I think it's around 50k subs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, 30k subs. So yeah, so he's got 30k subs. And then Jason Unruh, who is obviously like a yeah. God, yeah, but he still has 30k subs as well, and he's had 30k subs for a while. So like, I guess you could say there are around 30 to 40k Marxists online. But most of like left Twitter in general is generally, there are a lot of Marxists there. There's a big section of that, but it depends like how big is left Twitter. I don't really know, because it's difficult to really judge for myself. But then I mean, like, Reddit, again, coming back to Reddit, they do have a lot of socialists, I think, and I wouldn't agree with a lot of those socialists on like almost every point I could with them, but you can still kind of say that they try to get to grips with Marxist theory and that. So I guess, yeah, if we want to be generous, maybe approaching 100,000 in total, maybe something like that. But I don't know. Maybe probably less than that, actually, but still. I mean, what about you, actually? I'm curious. I mean, do you kind of agree or disagree with my estimation there?
I don't know, but I'm with you. I mean, I don't know about the total numbers, but I do think that when it comes to English-speaking Marxists that are online, that are, say, under the age of 60, and therefore, possibly, and I put that high number up, as the barrier to old age, just because I'm 47 now. So, I consider myself to be part of the little online left community, but probably to be serious about it, you're looking at people under 30 who are really spending a lot of time on this.
The millennials and that.
But to broaden it out, the Gen Xers and the millennials, let's say, who are using the new media, social media, to communicate and think about Marx and Marxism. Boy, I would say, 100,000 you're right, is probably just off the top of my head, good guess at best. And that even then you start, who would self-identify as a Marxist and who is actually seriously engaged with the ideas that.
Oh, and that number plummets then if you put that qualifier in.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's very small, probably tens of thousands at best. And, but of course, it's kind of like asking, where's the vanguard at that point? Because you're never going to be working with if you were working in a moment where you had 1 million people seriously engaged with the ideas of Marx, that would be a revolutionary moment.